Welcome to Two Growlers, a show for craft beer drinkers like you, by craft beer drinkers like you. Brought to you by Beerploma, LLC. Check out our website at beerploma.com for more information about us.
Well, thank you, Lynn. Everybody, welcome to episode 4. If you guys missed our episode 3, we are now moving this to a twice-a-month show, so we're filming 2 episodes in one night. And so back with us again is Matthias Warnberg from the Munster area of Germany. So welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Hello.
Welcome, Matthias.
Thank you, Lynn.
So, and Lynn, thank you for the intro. Before we get into our beers today, we do have some upcoming events here. Shell's has their annual Oktoberfest celebration coming up on October 12th. It's complete with large tents, servers in lederhosen, and plenty of beer. Also, a new batch of Chimney Sweep is coming out. If you guys missed that last year, make sure you get it. It's a really good dark lager, and it should be out and available in November. And also, they are coming out with a new fresh hopped beer. Again, also available in November, and they are going to be using a new type of hops called Mosaic. And also, for those of you guys who had the Star of the North, they are coming out with their second Star of the North. And it's Framboise du Nord, and it was aged on over 5,000 pounds of raspberries. So we're really looking forward to that. And also in news, 3rd Street has their Jacked Up Beers and Gears bike tour coming up September 21st at the brewery. You can go to jackedupbeersandgears.com for more information. We're going to post that right down here at the bottom of the screen. Also, Beerploma has some more news. Second time on the docket, guys. We have a brewery tour with Badger Hill. We don't have a date picked out for this yet, however, it's happening in late September or early October. So if you have questions, please email them to info@beerploma.com or leave us a line on Twitter or Facebook. So for those of you guys who've been following our podcast, we started out with the brewery tour series, and last early December, we did a brewery tour series with 3rd Street Brewing, great hosts. Now they built a line of laser precision beers. Every single one of their beers was crafted to a precise degree that I have never seen before in a brewery. In fact, it was one of the very first breweries I've ever been in where I was actually confused by some of the equipment that they were using, which is really rare. Normally when I walk into a brewery, I know, oh, there's your fermenter tanks, there's what you boil in and do your actual brewing in. There is your cleaning apparatus and whatnot. I mean, I could pick apart everything. This was the very first brewery where they had like hop injectors and everything was controlled by computers, and it was just an amazing experience. So the first beer we're going to do tonight is we are going to do Sugar Shack. Now I want to let you guys know that the Sugar Shack I've been hanging on to since November. And we'll get more into that one a little bit after we pour the beers here. But normally you're not supposed to do that, but I wanted to test their laser preciseness to see how far this would go. So second off, we got a beer from your hometown.
Yes.
We have Potsland beer, which is a Keller beer. And the Keller beer is sort of like a Pilsner, but just unfiltered. So you get this nice, good, bready, weedy taste to it. So we're looking forward to that one. And also, thank you to Scott, who was our guest cameraman on our very first show going out to Titletown Brewing. He just took a trip out to Iceland, and he brought me back some SN Ori number 10 from the Borg Brewing out in Iceland. And it has some Icelandic thyme in it, so it should be a really interesting beer. You guys ready to drink these beers?
Looking forward to it.
Ready to go?
Let's do it. So the first one we're pouring here is the Sugar Shack by 3rd Street. Second off, we have in the nice Grolsch style bottle, we have the Potsland beer. For spillage. And last we have the SN Ori number 10, which is the Icelandic thyme beer. Huh. Get it down. Okay, guys. We're gonna start with the SN Ori. Now, Ori is Icelandic for beer. I really can't tell you too much about this. The Google Translator that I was using wasn't working too well. According to ratebeer.com, this beer qualifies as a spice, herb, or vegetable beer category. And I believe that's because it contains Icelandic thyme. By the looks of it, it looks like a really pale Pilsner. And, well, let's find out how this one tastes. This beer, I don't think you're going to be able to find in the U.S. So if you ever get out to Iceland, make sure you try this one. Try it there.
Yeah.
It's got a nice, crisp, clean smell to it. I'm not really picking up the thyme yet. But I am in the taste. It almost is like the wheat ale we had. Now I'm really picking up that bready taste in this one though. And it's got a lot of carbonation to it, a really light mouthfeel, and very dry. Now, what I really liked about this one is that they used all of their ingredients come from Iceland in this beer. According to the research that I was able to do on this one, I mean, everything from the thyme to the hops, everything about this beer was Icelandic. So this is a true local beer by Icelandic standards. What do you guys think of this one? Then we'll start with you.
It's good beer.
It is good. It did remind me of the one we had
In our last episode?
Yes.
That would be the Indeed shenanigans.
Yes, I think. Was it? Yeah, it was the shenanigans. Very light.
So Matthias, this next beer that we're doing is the Potsland beer, which is the kellerbier. Can you tell us what you know about this one?
Well, it's an unfiltered Pilsner, and well, you can say it's an easy drinking beer.
Sorry, you're getting robbed on the share on this one, but you can go home and get some more of this.
Yeah, thank you. So, as I said, it's an unfiltered Pilsner, easy-going beer, and, well, you can have it all year, every season.
Now, for those of you guys who are not familiar with the land beer style, land beer actually translates to country beer, and it refers to a session or an easy drinking beer. Definitely has that Saaz hops taste. And you know what? Out of all the beers I've had from Germany, I think this one traveled the best. So it's got a nice, clean, crisp taste. There's a little bit of a sweetness to it, which is what makes it a Keller beer. So really good beer. That's a great beer, actually.
Thank you.
Do you drink this one every day, or is this a regular one in your fridge, or?
It's a regular in my fridge, yeah. Because it's a local beer in the area where I live. It's not actually from Münster, but it's from a small town near Münster, and it's one of my absolute favorites.
I really like this one too. I was looking forward to trying it when I heard it was a unfiltered Pilsner, because a lot of times I like the lighter beers. I mean, I like a variety of beers, but I like the lighter beers, but being unfiltered, I figured it would have a lot of taste as well, and it does. It's really good.
Well, and it has not the specific color for a typical German unfiltered Pilsner, because it's more like a dark one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is very dark for a Pilsner, for a Pilsner class, I mean, but maybe that's just how this one works out. Okay guys, the next one we're going to talk about is Sugar Shack Maple Stout. Now, first off, I have to put a little disclaimer down here on this one, because this is one of my favorite beers. I mean, 3rd Street puts out these really laser-precise beers. That being said, when I first had this beer fresh, it started out ice cold, and I let it get up to room temperature. And in the process, it became 4 different beers. Equally good, but 4 very distinct beers. And it started out where the malt and the hops was coming through, and it ended with a real heavy syrup taste, but still it was a laser precise beer with every drop. And that's what I love about 3rd Street. So with that being said, I wanted to see how far we could push their laser preciseness. Now, most of the time when you have a craft beer like this is only like a 4% alcohol beer, and you're only supposed to really let them go for about 6 months. Tops. I've been aging this one for almost a year now. So we should be picking up some off flavors. But I want to say that this is my fault, not Third Street's fault on this one. I aged the beer. I wanted to see how far we could push this maple flavor and see what we could do with it. So if all of a sudden we drink this beer and you see us like turning around and spinning it up on the side, it is not Third Street's fault. This is like one of the best beers they make. Only Rise to the Top, their cream ale, I think is better. But this is one of my favorite beers on the planet, and I'm the one who ruined this one, if it's ruined. So, you guys ready to dig into this one?
I don't think I've ever seen you spit out a beer.
It happened once.
Oh.
So it still has that dark caramely color to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good to see. And actually I do have a second bottle of this one if we need it. So let's just give it a whiff here. This is their maple stout again. I'm definitely getting a really sweet, syrupy smell out of it. But it almost has a soy sauce flavor to it.
Did you taste it already?
Not yet.
No. I'm trying to take myself back to last winter and remember what it tasted like.
Well, it didn't taste like that. The maple syrup has really come out in this one. In fact, I taste more maple syrup than anything, and I really don't see this one. It's not as blended. It's almost like the maple syrup and the beer has like separated from each other on this one.
I drink it for the first time, and I would say it's a mixture of maple syrup and beer.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of a coffee out of it.
Yeah?
I'm getting the coffee too. And
the beer tastes good. It's the aroma that's putting me off. It's the aroma is giving me this real soy sauce smell to it. But still drinkable. And I still have a few more bottles of this, and I'm definitely going to be, I'm going to do some experiments with some bratwurst with it later this week.
can't go wrong there.
Yes. Again, guys, I can't say this enough. Third Street is one of the greatest breweries on the planet. This was my fault. I aged it on purpose too long.
As an experiment.
As an experiment. To see what it would do. I guess I preferred fresh.
I would too. I'm trying to remember. I do remember that I tried it for the first time last winter or fall, and I liked it. And I remember it tasting better than this, but like you said, not meant to be aged this long.
Yep.
So
Third Street, hey, if you're watching this, we're looking forward to your next batch. Matthias, as long as we got you on the show, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how many times have you been to the U.S. now?
It's my 4th trip.
This is your 4th trip.
Yes.
Now, I know we were talking earlier over dinner, and you said that when you came here, you had this perception of what American beer was before you met me.
Yes.
What was that perception of beer?
Well, my first perception was, okay, there's only Miller and Budweiser and Bud Light and Coors Light and that's it. Well, I have never had other beers before in Germany because you only get Budweiser and Miller in Germany or in the Netherlands or in Europe. And then I came to your house and tried a grain belt from Shell's Brewery in New Ulm.
Yep.
And I really, really loved it. And yeah, well, I changed my mind about American beers.
Didn't we go down to the brewery too?
Yes, exactly. And I really changed my mind because the first perception was only Miller and Bud Light and Coors Light and stuff like that you see on television and on TV shows and in movies and whatever. But my personal opinion is forget about Miller, Budweiser and stuff like that. Well, you can have it wherever you want to be all over the world, but try the craft beers. That's what I can say about American beers.
I can drink to that. Let's prost to that one, guys.
Prost.
Prost. Here's to craft beers. Those brats can't come soon enough.
German style brats.
Yes.
Is this the bottle you're
Thank
going to use
you.
on the brats?
No, I've got like 4 more of them,
Alright.
so we need to drink at least 2 of these here. So what do you find different about the German versus American? And I'm going to let you go first on this one, but I might throw in my 2 cents if I saw something a little bit differently from my perspective. Because he's been to Germany, or no, he's been to the U.S. 4 times. I've been to Germany now 7. So I've got my perceptions of the German versus American, and you have your perception of German versus American. I'd like to hear your take on that too, and compare that with my own.
Okay. Well, first of all, we only have just less of styles of beers in Germany. We have Pilsners, we have Hefeweizen, we have, well, let me call it mixture beers, that is Radler, like a beer with lemonade, or we have Hefeweizen with banana juice in it, or with grapefruit and stuff like that. But there is not such a variety of beers. Wherever you go, you have the same style, just with a little bit of change in the flavor. So more malt or more hops in it, or more wheat in it, and that's it. So I would say, well, yeah, the variety in the US is, well, like this, and we have such a variety in Germany.
Yeah, I completely, absolutely agree with you, and especially in like the smaller towns, which is where my wife is from. Trying to find even a Kolsch, which is from that region. Just even finding a Kolsch in our hometown
From Cologne,
has been a chore for me. So no, I absolutely agree with you that's a very Pilsner oriented area that you guys live in.
That's right. Yeah.
What's your favorite beer style from Germany?
Well, I personally like the kellerbiers, so unfiltered Pilsners. Ice cold from the fridge, that's my absolute favorite.
Okay. I like kellerbiers too. I remember once my father-in-law brought me a kellerbier from my favorite German brewery, which is Hohenfeller's. And that was one of my most favorite beer experiences over in Germany.
Yeah, I got a question for Matthias. You mentioned that there's a lot fewer varieties of beers, but some are more hoppy than others.
Yes.
Do you have something in Germany that's would be considered equal to like a IPA or a double IPA or imperial IPA, that type of hoppiness, or are they more geared toward like a Pilsner?
It's more like
Hefeweizen?
I would say it's more like a Pilsner. We
Okay.
don't have an IPA, or there's something else in Germany.
Okay.
It's not the German style of beer compared to the German Reinheitsgebot. It's more the Pilsner, and I would say the German beer is just the Pilsner, except for the southern parts of Germany where you have the Hefeweizen. So it's Bavaria and stuff. You have the Hefeweizen, and the rest of Germany is Pilsner.
But you guys do have your range too. You do have your Dunkels, you do have your Dortmunder Alts, and your Kolsch's, which are all from the northern part of Germany as well.
That's right. But these beers are not so popular like the Pilsners.
Okay.
So the Pilsner beer, I would say the Pilsner beer is the typical German beer.
Yeah, I would completely agree with that.
Yes,
which is
in
why
the different varieties. So we have Veltins, we have König Pilsner, we have Beck's, which is a very herb one from northern Germany.
What's that other hoppy one from Germany? Jever?
Jever, yeah.
Jever, yes.
It's the same region like Beck's. It's from the northern parts of Germany.
So do they like more hops up there? Or?
I actually don't know. It's just more a herbal flavor, like the Pilsners in the middle region. And unfortunately, most of the German breweries belong to big companies like InBev, and it's the big company owning Budweiser. It's Anheuser-Busch.
Yep. So that's actually InBev.
Yeah,
that's actually part of InBev.
So,
yep.
so most of the German beers belong to InBev, and InBev is the head of the beers. Well, they didn't change the styles, they didn't change the flavors, but well, it's only buying a beer from just one company.
Yeah.
So behind all the beers you have InBev, and that's what I don't like personally. I prefer the small breweries which produce craft beer and which produce a local beer for their region, like the Potts Land Beer from Münster, or
Hohenfelders from
Hohenfelders, or the Herkepils from my hometown Peine.
So Matthias, if you had to have one beer in your fridge from your hometown, what would you pick?
Well, I would pick Pinkus Müller, that is from my hometown Münster, and it's a small variety of a Pilsner, a non-alcoholic beer, and a Pinkus Original from Münster, so that is an unfiltered Pilsner, like a kellerbier. And next to the Pinkus Müller, I would have the Potts Land Beer, because it's also a beer from the region where I live. It's an original beer from Münster, and well, both are craft beers from small breweries, and they are only sold in our local region. That's why I love these beers.
Okay. Now, if you had to pick one from the U.S., what would you pick?
Well, I would pick the Greenbelt beer.
Greenbelt Premium?
Greenbelt Premium, yeah.
Interesting choice.
Because, well, it was the first craft beer I had here in the US, after I had Miller and Budweiser and Coors Light before. And this was the beer that changed my mind about US beers.
Okay, well with that, we're going to close our show here today. So, thank you guys for watching. This is our 4th episode, and please leave a comment on Facebook or on our YouTube page. And if you like the show, make sure you click that little like button. That means a lot to us. It actually bumps us up in the search engines. And always leave a comment if you can. You can also find us on several podcast directories, including iTunes, BlackBerry, and Miro. See you next time. Prost!
Prost! Prost! Pinkus Müller. Now I have it.
Pinkus! I love Pinkus!
It's the Pinkus. So where were we? Ask me the question again.